Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Circle of the Earth Fellowship. I'm so excited to be back with another episode. Last episode, which we were talking about weather modification and chemtrails, kind of does, in a way, tie into this topic that we're talking about tonight, which is Project Project Blue Beam. Oh my God! Excited to talk about that, but before we do, let's go ahead and say hello. Oh, where is everyone? Let's push this back. We got missing people on the screen. And pull this back. Okay, there we go. Grab that. Apologize, everyone, and my camera is even messed up. Okay, give me 1 second, everybody. I apologize. Get this set up correctly. And we will get chugging along. Of course, there always has to be difficulties. At least I'm hoping y'all can hear me. At least that, I think, is not being a negative. Perfect. Okay. Okay, sweet. There we go. All right. And now we can push back over here. But before we get into the topic today, let's go ahead and say hello to all those that joined us on the panel. Did Robert? I may have missed it. Did Robert say something about not being here tonight? Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. Well, you could always. It's in the schedule. Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, he's over. I saw that Sean was doing a debate, so of course that will cause this to have low numbers, but it's okay. We're still gonna have fun in the discussion, anyways. I can always go watch Sean later. Y'all can always watch us later. No worries. Okay, well, let's jump over to you. Good to see you, Marcia. Shalom. Nice. Yeah. Sweet. Well, I'm excited to have you, sister. We didn't get to talk with you last week, but I'm glad you're feeling better. But everyone do still keep Sister Marcia in your prayers for her health, and because we sure do love having her around on the show and giving her perspective. But let's jump over to Kyle. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Shabbat. Not Shabbat Shalom anymore. It's dark, but Shalom, brother. Oh, no one can hear us. Marcia, I apologize. No one could hear you.
No, what?
Okay.
I don't see.
No, I know. It's because for some reason, it switches the sound to this like random string of characters. And of course, and then Kyle's dropping off. Okay, there he is. All right. Well, sorry for muting everyone, muting Marcia. Shalom, sister, and then we'll jump over to Kyle.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Just glad to be here. Glad I started feeling better and am up and running to do this show. So.
And what have you, oh, we'll get into that. Let's jump over to Kyle. How you doing, brother? Good to see you.
I'm good, brother. Just another blessed day. I'm doing pretty well. Just in the process of trying to move out to Utah, and it's all
become a neighbor. Become a neighbor.
Oh, how fun! How fun! Oh, how fun!
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. It's a beautiful place we live, and I know you love Colorado more, but it is. I think it'll be worth it.
To Colorado. It's not like Florida.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not like Louisiana. Utah is just on the other side of the Rocky Mountains. Yeah. It's not. It's still.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, sweet, brother. Good to see you, and let's jump over to Frankie B. Welcome, Frankie B.
Hey, guys. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, or Shalom Shalom. Let's go, Project Blue Beam. It is a laser of a show.
Good one, Frankie B. Top. That was AAA. But no, good to see you, brother. And we've talked about a lot of these topics before, just within other conversations, and it's like, of course, right? Like I have a picture of a flying saucer right here, and so we're kind of almost looping back to aliens, and we'll kind of see that within some of the videos. But it's like we've kind of said this whole time that all these topics loop in with each other. They're all interconnected, not just like one to one, but one interconnects into many other, whether that's through the style of the deception or whatever. And can y'all? I don't know. Can y'all see the airplane that's like kind of invisible right here? That's projecting the blue beam.
Yes. That's
so,
what I would do, right?
Yeah, and who knows? It may not even need to be a jet. It can be drones now, and we'll kind of look at that as well. The interesting kind of stuff that they can do, and again, we're seeing commercialized examples of kind of how they could do it, but who knows what type of technology they actually have, and what the way they could actually implement these things. So I don't want to just talk about that, but I also want to kind of talk about the why they would do this, and in what way, what would be the kind of intent, the treasure that they're seeking for this quest. And so we'll explore that too. But again, before we get into that, I kind of want to I'm going to do a little brief housekeeping, and then we're going to have a discussion about what we know about this subject, or kind of some of those things before we jump into the video, into the videos and things we got to share. So let me go ahead and pull that up. Share. Oh, wrong button. Share. And we want to do this one. Pull that up for everyone. Let's make that big. Sweet. Awesome. So first and foremost, I'd always like to take a moment and shout out to Take on the World, Chris and Liz Bailey. We're just so appreciative that the fact that they allow us to come onto their platform and share our pieces of the puzzle with their family, with their community, and it means a lot that they allow us to do that. So much gratitude, much appreciation, much love. And for those over there and they don't know, we have our own channel as well, which is Circle of the Earth Fellowship, or at CEF Fellowship. And we're at 187 videos. We just got a couple new subscribers, so thank you to the recent subscribers. We do appreciate it. We're at 1243 now, so that ever climb towards 2,000. And we'll do another giveaway as well when we hit that milestone. But check us out if you're interested. Things like comments, likes, subscription, shares, that all does help the channel grow. And what's really cool, and I am not, this is not lost on me, I really like this thought, is that the 1,243 people that have subscribed to this channel are all actually seekers of pieces of the puzzle of truth. Like I'm not throwing shade any which way, but to know that these are organic people that have found this channel is so cool, because knowing the kind of what we're up against, we're not talking about mainstream movie, like from a mainstream perspective. We're obviously talking about it from a true seeker perspective, and so that doesn't get us into the top of the algorithm. So all of those 1,243 people, like, I know are real legit people, and that is very, very cool, a very big blessing to think about. That's quite a big people. If we all came into a room, we would be impressed by, like, wow, this is a lot of puzzle pieces. You know what I mean? So thank you. And then if you'd like to support the channel, if you already subscribe, you already do like and all that jazz, and you'd like to support the channel and get some merch out of it, link in the description to do that, and grab one of those and support the channel. as well as there's this donate where you can go and you can even do a monthly thing. And what's cool about this is through PayPal, so 100% of it minus the PayPal fee goes to me, and YouTube's not
Awesome.
taking a cut. Streamlabs is who this is through, and they're not taking a cut. So if you'd like to do that, that is available.
Where at? In the description?
Yep, link in the description. You just click on the merch one. You go up to this 3-link tab, and then you just hit donate, and that will pull up this screen. So,
For PayPal?
Yep, just straight through PayPal. And thank you to all that do. But all right, without further ado, let's drop this and get into the topic of the evening, which is Project Bluebeam, or Bluebeam simply. So kind of already talked about this, and we'll definitely talk about the technology. And that's something that's definitely interesting to discuss, but I really kind of want to focus on the why later on. We're going to look at a lot of different stuff, but I think the why is kind of the important part. But before we get into that, and before we get into the videos, I want to jump through each one of you and kind of get your ideas of what you think some of the answer to those questions may be, what you know about the subject, what you've thought about the subject, or any of the in-betweens of that. So let's jump to you, Marcia. What are your thoughts, sister, about Project Bluebeam, what you know, the intent, all that jazz, whatever you'd like to hit?
Well, it's funny. Project Bluebeam came in a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got into Project Bluebeam, it was like them showing cities in the sky. And that was projected Bluebeam. Then I started thinking more that they could be DO weapons. I don't know. Really but Project Bluebeam itself, I don't really know what the project is. I'm going to be just as excited to hear what everybody has to say about it. But I thought it was projection of cities and other things in the sky. That was my thought.
Yeah, basically, and I think that's a pretty good way to summarize it. It's almost like just another contraption that a magician would make to provide an illusion, right? That's also why I kind of named it oh my God, apparition apparatus, right? So it's like they've created these things that can create these apparitions, something that's not actually there, but still invokes an emotional response, whether that's joy or fear or happiness or whatever. And I think that me personally, I think a lot of the things that they're rolling out within the entertainment, to me, is clear testing to see what they can show, at what point will people start freaking out? You know what I mean?
Right.
And we kind of see those tests, Event 201 before, Beer Bug and all that jazz. So, but yeah, anyways, all right. Well, thanks for being here, sister. I think there's a lot of information to show about this. And I don't think we'll be we're not obviously coming away with here's the proof that this is when, where, and how they're going to perpetuate, these lies and stuff. But we will look at some scripture at the end about specifically maybe how this could be implemented through, within scripture. So anyways, all right, let's jump to Kyle. Kyle, go ahead.
Why can't see Kyle in the green room here, but I can see him on the YouTube?
I can see him in the green room. Maybe drop out real quick and jump back in, because I can 100% see him.
Okay, well, I won't worry about it. I know what he looks like. Hi, Kyle.
Hi, I see you over there.
You're just a green.
Do you remember, Marcia? You remember what he looks like?
I do. I remember.
Are you sure? All right, we just checked.
So what's interesting about this topic is, I mean, the first time I ever heard about it was like the technology was going to be used to fake Jesus's return. Like it was going to be
Oh, oh.
simulate the, not just that, but the rapture, and it was it was kind of a big thing in my mind because I was like, why is it like a religious thing? Like, why are they using technologies to demonstrate like religious? I wasn't a believer at that time
Mm-hmm.
looking into it, but that's, those are the things. It was always Jesus and the rapture and stuff. And I was like, why would the government do that? And there was always aliens thrown in with it. It was just this weird picture. But now I understand that Project Bluebeam is more of an agenda that is carried out through probably a variety of technologies. It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as it portrays an image to your mind that is
Ah,
what they want you to see. They've gotten, their message across. It's it can be done in a variety of ways. I guess it's just portraying something in the sky. It makes the most sense for a mass scale type of thing, but I guess it's not limited to that in my understanding.
No, yeah, and there is a really interesting connection between the aliens part of it and then the religious parts of it, right? And you see that how in all the religions, definitely like within Christianity and Catholicism specifically, how they have left this notch open where that whole idea can softly be put in place with it and it not outright contradict, right? For Hindi, it's like, oh well, these are the gods that we depicted back then, we just culturally changed them over time, or
Right.
whatever it is. There is a way to kind of add that into society, and then you add in all the programming that we've had for gods, for superheroes, for aliens, right? And how those all intermix. And you can easily see that why they would want to use a religious side to it, because that just it knots all these people together. That otherwise wouldn't be.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
Sweet. All right. Let's jump over
Yeah,
to
I
you.
was gonna
Oh, go
say.
ahead. Go ahead. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, I was just gonna say real quickly. But the whole purpose of it is to show something that's not necessarily there, whether it's found in reality or not. It's, the Project Bluebeam is about like almost a holographic or a digital kind of, any format that's not physical in form. I guess
And it
is
also,
how it's used.
and I also feel like, in reading scripture, the evil one is like, it's kind of like the PR, like, let's get in front of this, right? Like he's always trying to get in front of the prophecies that are like coming true. Like he's
Yeah,
always setting up so that he has an excuse ready within his lies, because he know eventually those lies are going to be contested. And I think that this is part and parcel, that the desire to find that information, or to gather that information and technology in order to be able to accomplish that exact thing. So
right.
great points, brother. All right, Frankie B, what are your thoughts, bro?
So Project Bluebeam, is that holographic, or is that
Hmm.
the lasers that are attached to the planes that can cause the forest fires?
So and who
Or is
knows
that
if they're
both?
not.
Or is that both?
What it could,
or
what if it's both, right? What if
Okay.
whatever technology that they're using to create these holograms can also
Right.
be directed in such a way that it created intense heat?
Exactly.
So the first time I heard about it was during the fires in Hawaii. So
Mm-hmm.
there
oh,
was a
I
whole
heard
big thing on
See.
that, and of
that
course
those were
it's
dupes,
military
right?
operate. Of course, it's a military apparatus. They can use it in warfare, and even the holograms, they could use that in warfare, making our armies look bigger, making
Uh,
sending 10 planes and then making it look like 30 or 40. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then
And, and the enemy won't know which ones that if they scatter them out between the holograms, won't know which are the real and which are the fake. So
yeah. What if you have what if you have a drone a swarm of drones where some of the drones are or all of the drones are making a picture of 4 drones. So it's like
yeah, that was the theme of the Spider-Man movie.
yeah, that's an example, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Now he was using the drones to make the holographic movies that he was acting in and portraying as a hero. Then he became a villain.
yeah, no, exactly. And who knows how like what that technology actually is. I think what we're kind of talking about specifically with Project Bluebeam is because actually, not next week, which is satellites, but the following week, we're going to be talking about DEW, which is direct energy weapons. And I think that more hits the Maui stuff. I do believe there's a crossover there where that technology is probably similar, comes from the same, you know, warehouses or labs.
Yeah, that's what I thought when you said Project Blue. I thought it was the DEW. Okay, I had that backwards then.
Yeah. So
okay. Yeah, I'm just confused.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Well, I'll take on your role, Marcia.
So yeah, I think this is kind of an important thing because, you know, here recently, definitely with Trump and what he's been saying, talking about the UFOs, talking about aliens, talking, you know, this stuff, information coming out in congressional hearings in the Senate, etc., where this, you know, they shot down supposed planes now, or you know, these flying vehicles. They've shot them down. They've quote unquote, you know, recovered bodies, and so, you know, we see these things, and I wonder how much of this could be, again, smoke and mirrors, right? This is an illusion set up, and even the, you know, the footage that we're giving of this object, it's like, can we vet that? Do we know that that actually was a plane flying and captured this footage as their, because, you know, why would excuse me, why would the U.S. military have any reason to lie to the American public? Better yet, the government. You get what I mean? So it's like, I don't necessarily think that route. And I think, and I think we'll get more into this into the end, but to kind of give my general idea up front is I think that this is going to be used in conjunction with a lot of other technologies, to kind of instigate, like what we've seen. What is that? Carol Resin say? Rosin, is that her name? Carol, the girl that worked for Warner Van Braun. I'm pretty sure it's Carol Resin or Rosin. But she was talking about the fit. You know, like the first it was going to be the Russians, and then it was going to be, you know, all these reasons to build space-based weapons, and it's like now we have the Space Force, right? And so anyways, I think that they're going to use this as kind of a bigger push for aliens. I think this kind of getting people ready, in my opinion, for the fifth trumpet, and in meaning they're going to start showing these things and presenting them as facts, as okay, these are aliens coming, right? These are alien, and at one point we're going to have an actual invasion, i.e., the fifth trumpet, Revelation 9, the first woe, and that is all the pre-up to that, all the pre-funk to that event actually occurring is going to get aliens on people's minds even more and more and more. And we're going to see these objects in the sky. The government's going to be talking about them. We know that they're extraterrestrial. We know they're from a different planet. And I think that's one way in which they're going to squash the biblical cosmology kind of movement. One way they're going to try. Now, I know there are others, people I respect, that believe that they're actually going to co-opt the flat earth, or the, you know, the biblical cosmology model, in attempt to subvert it. But I personally think that they've spent too much money in education and entertainment throughout the entire kind of mankind to really not pull that final card, that aliens card. And so when and where and how that's going to happen, obviously that's all speculative. But this technology, I think a lot of people are gonna, when they see these things, they're gonna have, like, it's okay, like you're gonna, if we're alive when this stuff it takes place, right? You are going to see stuff that scares you, that freaks you out, right? That you're gonna have an emotional response for, even if it's just for a second. But it's in, like, do we have the mental, spiritual kind of stamina to see these things and understand what we're seeing and not give in to the deception that it is, right? And it's like, we don't know which one of these deceptions is going to be the great one, right? We don't know which one of them is going to kind of tie us down into this oppressive system leading to our destruction. And so I think we should be, mind the gap when it comes to these technologies and knowing about them, but not fearing them, and realizing they are what they are. And this is nothing's new under the sun, right? The magician has been making contraptions and apparatuses for the longest time in order to trick the mind, to trick the eye, to give an emotional response of something that isn't real, right? Most of the time. So, sweet.
Later.
Yeah.
Later. Now, with that said, do you think it's going to be on the size, the grandest scale of Independence Day?
No, I don't think it needs to be. I think it can just be small sightings here and there that are almost marketed through the grassroots.
Well, we already have that. We
Well,
already have that. Do you think it's going to, when the invasion actually happens, do you think it's going to be on the scale of the ships being as large as they were in Independence Day?
So I think
over areas that are owned by them.
So I think that the invasion itself, I don't think ships are required for that, because I think that, again, is Revelation 9, and it describes them coming up out of the earth. Though I think it will be spun as though if it is an alien invasion, and that could still be an alien invasion and coming out of the earth, like we see in the War of the Worlds. Where that kind of idea has been put there, that, hey, they've been under us since, the whole time. In the new Amazon, the Tomorrow War, right? They find that they were hidden under the ice the whole time. Though they came from spaceships and all that, my point is that they were here. They were under the ice and we didn't know it. They were underneath us and we didn't know it. That kind of idea seemingly isn't nothing new. So I don't think the ships, just real quickly, I don't think the ships directly tie to the invasion that I think is going to be real. Now, do I think they're going to have a fake alien invasion where, like, they have blue beam ships up in the sky and then they have, like, people down here, like, dressed up as aliens, one or two? Like, maybe they are creating some, hybrid chimeras, underground military labs that get out, and, like, so they put up a beam over a city where that thing got loose, and so they're like, oh, this is an alien thing, not something that we just cooked up in a lab. Like, I think there could be explanations for it, but and I definitely think they're going to collaborate multiple technologies together for these delusions. But yeah, I don't know if there's going to ever actually be big physical ships. There could totally be the big ship. They could just, but the one alien craft could be the Mother Babylon, for all I know.
We really need to be on guard, because I just learned this is coming out, the Kochian literature or whatever. They did a whole what do I want to say? translation of this Kochian literature, and it's on Matthew 24:24. It says, if it were possible, even the elect would be deceived.
Uh-huh.
Kochian doesn't say that. It says the elect will be deceived.
That the illusion is so strong that even the elect
It is
will be
by the
deceived.
deception, will be deceived. So you really have to be grounded, and it's not like all elect, but the elect will.
Yeah.
The elect
Like
will
even not even the elect are
Yeah.
are perfectly guarded from destruction.
And Sean, I said that over to Sean, and he says, "Oh, elect people or the set apart people will." He believes they will. There's always going to be some that will be deceived. It's not that we won't be. So we really have to truly be on. We have to guard the Bible in us, the Word. We really have to be on guard.
Well, that's why I really think that futurism is going to play into this, because the whole church is waiting for the second coming of Christ and the book of Revelations to be fulfilled, and it just lays right into their hands. I mean, you're all waiting for it, but the preterist knows that it already happened. So the preterist is the one that's going to be on guard and know that, hey, this is BS. Because we already know that the second coming already happened. So that just, it's a feather in my cap.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I can kind of understand that perspective. Of course, that opens a whole nother can of worms. But specifically, just with the technology and how it is used, like, let's actually start watching some of the videos and kind of see some of the reactions that people have when they see this stuff implemented. There is a degree of wow and wonder in them that I think is very reminiscent of some scripture kind of warning us to not be so easily seduced by these visual things. So all right, let's pull that up, and then we'll discuss it after we watch it. So let me get here first. Okay, let me get to the right one. Bear with me, everyone. Okay, let's start out with this one. I believe it is. Yeah. Okay. Grab that. Big screen it. We're going to full screen this. Oh. And that is on the wrong sound, so I don't know why it's playing there. But, give me a second, everyone. Why is it playing there? Oh, weird. Have they not been able to hear, like, can anyone confirm that they've been able to hear y'all the whole time?
Definitely not.
You haven't been able to hear us at all?
No, I don't know. I can't confirm that.
Oh. Okay, let me,
It looks like there's only like 2 people in there.
No, we got 11 people watching right now. So.
Oh, we do?
Yeah. Let me. I'm gonna pause. Mute this real quick.
Cold.
Okay, no, they can hear you. I was worried because the setting was off, but I fixed it. There was nothing to fix, but okay. Here, let's start this over.
What the fuck? What is that, bro? Yo, what is that? Crazy, right? What, dude? Jules, got me. Fucking mouth. Crazy, right? What, dude? Best feeling in the world.
So yeah, I don't 100% know what to make of that. That seemed pretty crazy. Like, is that just a promotional kind of fake thing? Because is that an AR thing? Like, I will say I'm not 100% sure if that was like what people were seeing, but that was looking like they were all pointing at it, even with people who didn't have phones. So, or looking at it even with people that didn't have phones. But maybe that was scripted. I don't know. But still very interesting.
My understanding was that was real. Like people saw that without devices.
Without devices, yeah. Very so much.
Yeah,
Sorry
that's
if I
what
had
I'm
a weak
talking
word.
about. They're doing something like that.
Oh, do you remember that? Are you going to play something real quick? Well, anyway, do you
Go
remember
ahead.
that shark thing that came out of the water in a gymnasium with kids? That was like Blue Beam. What, you don't? Okay. I should
You know,
find
in this video here.
Yeah, well, here, let's check this one out. All right, so quick little thing there.
Oh, cool.
Hey, that'll save the circus a lot of money. They don't have to drag animals around with them anymore.
Yeah, and they'll be best friends with PETA.
Yeah, right.
So this is, again, one of those things where it's like, is this actually a hologram, or am I looking at it through AR? But again, the people look like they're reacting to them, they're looking at them, or is that because they're CGI? I literally don't know, but watch it and you come to your own conclusion.
Oh my gosh.
It could totally be fake. I just another kind of interesting thing.
It's not necessarily fake. I mean, if someone has a device implanted in their eyes or their brain that overlays virtual reality, like what they're trying to push, then this wouldn't necessarily be fake in their eyes. It would be very easy to see something. If you can't control what you're seeing necessarily.
Yeah. No, I could kind of see. I could see what you're saying there. But I wonder, like, wouldn't that be interesting? Like, how would they do this if it was real? That's kind of an interesting thought. All right, let's keep chugging. So this, we're gonna watch this. We'll take a couple breaks throughout it to talk about what we're seeing. But we're gonna watch this whole thing because these 10 ones are pretty interesting. So let me pull that up and we'll start.
Holograms are a thing that we are mostly familiar with because of science fiction movies that take place in a super technologically advanced future time. But holograms are not a thing of fiction anymore, and in fact, you will be surprised to find that they haven't been for many years. Today we present to you the top 10 most advanced and breathtaking holograms that are in use right now. Number 1. Pepper's Ghost. Although you might think that the appearance of Tupac at Coachella in 2012 and the appearance of Michael Jackson at the Billboard in 2014 were proof that technology is moving fast and can recreate the dead, you will be surprised to know that this technique actually dates way back to the Victorian era, specifically 1862. An English scientist named John Henry Pepper used it to create illusions of ghosts and other things on stage, simply by putting a brightly lit figure out of the audience's sight, which was reflected on a pane of glass that was placed between the performer and the audience. The whole illusion is that the audience doesn't see the glass. Back to the present era, the MDH hologram was the first company that managed to master photorealistic and flexible hologram technology, which can be used in performance venues. They use high-end motion capture technology and 3D CGI, so they digitally resurrect a person from head to toe and then project them to an almost completely invisible pane of glass. Number 2. Digital holographic tabletop. Now, if you think of Tony Stark while looking at this, we won't blame you. And even though we are probably still far away from creating holographic tables that look like this, a lot of progress has been made in order to achieve this level of perfect sci-fi technology. Specifically, a team from South Korea managed to create the world's first hologram table that can be viewed simultaneously from 360 degrees, so literally from every angle possible. In order to create that, they used a series of multicolored, high-powered lasers and a high-speed rotating mirror display, which was built into the tabletop.
Oh my
The
God.
floating image relies on diffraction, generated by the interference between the mini lasers in the complex system. So you can now understand that this is reaching a whole new level from the previous fake images that are just projected in a glass. Number 3. Nologram. The brainchild of the artist Joni Lemercer, the nologram is named like this because she doesn't want to be associated with the misleading use of the word hologram. She uses common tracking technologies like depth sensor and image analysis in order to allow interaction between the viewer and the projections. And she is using various techniques to create the nolograms themselves. Some of them are the classic Pepper's Ghost, which we talked about earlier, as well as semi-transparent screens, mirrors, and lenses. But what she really wants to do is break the 2D projections, and for that she developed a technique using fine particles of water, high-pressure gas, and custom nozzles, all in order to create true volumetric projections that have no limit in size. Number 4. The Ariel Burton Laser Plasma Holograph. Burton Inc. is located in Japan, and they are proud innovators who managed to succeed in creating true 3D display using plasma technology. This creates amazing opportunities for further creations because the light can be viewed without the need to bounce off of any surface and use mirrors or glass. Specifically, the technology they use is a 1 kilowatt infrared laser, which is focused on direct points in the air by a 3D scanner. This causes the molecules in the air to be ionized and thus create a plasma. Now, we can't imagine all the possibilities that this opens, but we're sure they are going to be more than impressive. Number 5. Fan holograms. What we call fan holograms are the types of displays that produce a hologram that is seemingly floating in the air. This is achieved by having strips of RGB LEDs attached to the blades of the fan and a control unit that lights up the pixels as the fan turns around, and so producing a full picture. Quite often, these types of holograms are used in special events or even at theme parks. But relatively recent, there has been a new device that goes around that is known as the Hypervan Wall, which creates full HD images that can be over 3 meters tall and gives the appearance of floating on air. To succeed in this, the device only uses 65 watts of power. Incredible.
Imagine if they put that up in the air with a whole bunch of, with an air balloon with a whole bunch around those.
Yeah. Oh my God.
They could literally make it look like it zoomed off in space and all it did was mimic what was behind it and now it's all vanished. You get what I mean? Like, if you think of these things on a big scale, and they could use these for a lot of nefarious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, touchable holograms. When we talk about holograms, the basic understanding that we have is that you can see them, but you cannot touch them. But that's not always true, surprisingly. By using tactile technology which creates haptic feedback, researchers at the University of Bristol's Department of Computer Science managed to create a 3D shape in midair that can be not only touched, but actually felt by the human hands. Although gamers will immediately think how much games can improve using this technology, entertainment is not the only industry that can be benefited from such a discovery in the future. Just imagine doctors looking at a 3D projection of a tumor before an operation, or actually being able to touch artifacts that are located in museums. The possibilities are endless, and all of them useful. Number 7, Inform. Researchers at MIT have this incredible idea that they actually managed to bring to life, and we are most excited about it. They created something they called Inform, which is a tangible Inform dynamic shape display. What is that exactly? Well, Inform can render the shapes of people and objects on surfaces by using up to 900 motor-driven columns in a tiny area, and so sculpting shapes in real life. Imagine being miles away from your loved one and being able to touch the shape of their face. Or even better, imagine what architects could do with technology like this. Specifically, what they propose is utilizing shape displays in 3 different ways to mediate interaction, to facilitate by providing dynamic physical affordances through shape change, to restrict by guiding users with dynamic physical constraints, and to manipulate by actuating physical objects. Number 8. Voxon VX1. Volumetric holograms already sound cool, but wait until you see exactly what that means. Voxon VX1 display uses an ultra-high-speed digital light engine along with a highly optimized volume rendering engine in order to create and project over 500,000 points of light into a volumetric space every second. The hundreds of digital cross-sections of an image are projected at the same time into a specially designed high-speed reciprocating screen, and as the photons of light hit it, they diffuse and form a physical cross-sectional image at the right place and the right time, thus tricking our eyes into blending all those layers into a single 3D image that can be viewed without special glasses. Number 9. Fairy lights. Although it is not a fairy tale, it does sound like a sci-fi story, but it's not science fiction anymore. It's now actually science fact. Similarly to the holograms you can touch, fairy lights can also be touched and felt, and according to the team behind this discovery, they kind of feel like sandpaper, which makes sense if you think that what you are touching is actually laser dots. The researchers at Digital Nature Group found a way to create these 3D interactive holograms, which are comprised of tiny points of light plasma and are called voxels. In order to do this, they use femtosecond lasers that create these 3D dimensional images with resolutions up to the staggering number of 200,000 dots per second. A femtosecond is a quadrillionth of a second.
So I want to stop and say something real quick because I feel like this may be on people's minds, and then we'll finish out the video. Is like we'll see all this. Oh, excuse me. Most of this, the things you're showing are within containers or have glass around them, and isn't something you can just like put up into the sky. And one thing I'll say is like, this is the technology being commercialized, not weaponized, right? It's not, they're not showing you the full extent of the capabilities of what they're doing. They're taking this information and they're taking it down all the roads they can, and some of those roads may lead into some really like kind of complex stuff of what's actually going on. So I just wanted to mention that real quick, that just because they're doing it inside a thing here doesn't mean they haven't figured that out. And how old is this anyways? You know what I mean?
Is just completely and utterly mind-blowing. Number 10. The Euclidean hologram table. This might not have the technology that the digital holographic tabletop has, but it is just as useful and impressive, we might add, as any other hologram on our list. The Euclidean hologram table is an immersive multi-user system that coordinates atoms of light with uses of algorithm that can handle up to 1,000 gigabytes of graphic data. That creates images that are not only stunning, but also super handy. They can be used in architecture and government and military and smart cities, and of course in entertainment, real estate, museums, live shows and conferences, as well as in arcades, and surprisingly, even in restaurants. Which hologram from our list made you go, wow? And which one do you think?
So lots of technologies out there that exist that can create a lot of apparatuses that are creating these apparitions. So here's just another example of it. That is not, Michael Jackson is not there. Think about that, guys. That's...
Yeah.
Mhm.
Think about it.
You know
boy.
what's crazy? You know what I just kind of thought about when I saw that is like, isn't it interesting how like when lots of public figures go and speak, they're always surrounded by bulletproof glass? Just saying.
Huh, they could just be projected.
Maybe that's what will come out of all the people trying to take down Trump is they're like, oh, okay, we're not going to have live events anymore. There would just be holograms.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I get it. A lot of this stuff is very cool, and it's the futuristic sci-fi type of stuff that we kind of imagine when we were kids, or imagine what could happen, and it's definitely cool. But that's why the evil one does it the way he does it, is because he makes it makes it enticing.
It'd be real cool in your hands, but that's the thing, is it's not for you. It's specifically for them. It's technology that they'll never release for public use or for any good purpose. It'll just be used for nefarious reasons.
Yep.
Yep.
Totally. All right, let's check this one out.
The world of sci-fi has been promising us holograms for years. Think holochess in Star Wars, or Princess Leia beaming a message out of R2-D2.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
A lot of the holograms we've seen outside of sci-fi, like Tupac or Michael Jackson appearing on stage, have actually just been clever illusions. But Silicon Valley company Lightfield Lab has created a real hologram, without the headgear, that you can see in front of you just like a real object. I'm here at Lightfield Lab in Silicon Valley, ready to see a concept known as solid light. They're pitching this as a genuine hologram. This isn't virtual reality, this isn't augmented reality, this isn't a picture of Tupac on a stage. This is going to be something that feels like a real object that I can actually walk around and see, interact with from multiple angles. I have no idea what I'm about to see through that door, but I'm pretty excited to check it out. Unlike other technologies, solid light doesn't rely on spinning volumetric displays or reflections projected up onto angled glass. Instead, Lightfield Lab says this technology is the highest resolution holographic display platform ever designed. A light source sends light through a multi-layered piece of polymer known as a phase guide that steers and focuses the light into mid-air, essentially creating a hologram in the space in front of you. The result is what Lightfield Lab calls a solid light object that moves, refracts, and reflects in physical space. Seeing it with my own eyes, I realised the solid light name makes sense. At first, it looks like you should be touching something solid, even if it's just a screen or a piece of reflective glass. But I was just passing my hands through light. So I'm in front of the solid light demonstration now, and it looks probably to you like I'm just watching a TV screen, that I'm just standing in front of a flat display, but it's actually a hologram. Sorry, I just had to wait for the chameleon to catch a fly there. It feels like it should be about here. This is where it should feel like I'm touching a screen, but there's nothing here. And if I put my hand further through, it's like I can still see the animal, but my hand is passing through it. I'm 6 inches into this box and I can't feel anything, it's just air. So what should feel like a flat screen here, maybe I'd be touching the very front of the animal right here. I'm able to actually pass through it, and it looks like it should be fairly solid, but it's not, it's just thin air. And the coolest thing is, I mean, my glasses do look great, but these aren't 3D. These are just because I have bad eyesight. So if I take them off, with or without glasses, it's exactly the same. It's pretty crazy. No headset, no 3D glasses, and like no screen.
One of the coolest demos I saw was using a magnifying glass to actually magnify the hologram, just like it was a real object. I didn't just see a close-up of a display like I would with a two-dimensional screen. The hologram I saw was about 10 inches across, and it was being generated by a single solid light panel, though you don't actually see that panel in the installation. Lightfield Labs says each one of those 28-inch diagonal panels generates an effective density of 10 billion pixels per square metre, and they can be scaled up, potentially using multiple panels to make a massive wall. Unlike other light effects that use forced perspective to create the illusion of dimensions, you can still see the same hologram from multiple angles without any distortion, kind of like you'd see a real object.
So I'm standing here about 1 metre or 3 feet away from the display or the kind of the demonstration, and this is where the Lightfield Lab team says that's kind of the optimal viewing angle. And if I walk around, it's pretty amazing. You walk around and it's not like, maybe another display where it starts to look warped or a weird angle because it's designed just to be viewed in this one spot.
Of course, the magic here really comes when you see it with your own eyes. We saw this hologram in a small room, and it's hard to capture the full effect and play it back on a 2D screen. But this is just the beginning. Lightfield Labs says you'll be able to see this tech out in the real world as early as next year. The company has financial backing from the likes of Samsung, Verizon, and Comcast NBC Universal, and says it already has alpha partners that are planning to use the tech to create their own hologram displays.
So the idea is you could come up to a hologram display, maybe at an airport, at an entertainment venue, at a theme park, and instead of just seeing flat screens on a wall, you could see these displays and actually.
Isn't it interesting how it's always for entertainment? It's always, and they slip in, yeah, this has military applications, but no, we're talking about airports and amusement parks and, all that stuff. That's all, that's what we're talking about. So let's take a step back. We're going to watch this Mark Dice video and see what he has to say about it.
You know that the government has a plan to stage or fake an alien invasion or even the return of Jesus or the appearance of God here on planet Earth? Not only do they have the plan, but they've actually considered putting it into use on several occasions.
Or does anyone have an idea if Mark Dice has come to the truth of the Earth, or is he still holding on to it like Meatball Alex Jones?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
The Washington Post actually published an article years ago about how the military had considered staging the appearance of God in Iraq during the first Gulf War in order to trick the Iraqis into believing that God had appeared and that he was talking to them, urging them to overthrow Saddam Hussein. They also considered doing the same tactic to overthrow Fidel Castro in Cuba. It's called Project Bluebeam, and through using several holographic devices and the microwave hearing effect, or the radio frequency hearing effect, they were going to beam God's voice into people's heads and make them believe that they were seeing and hearing God himself, who would then urge them to overthrow the dictator. Sound too crazy to be true? There is a patent registered in the United States Patent Office by the United States military for a piece of technology that can beam voices into people's heads. It's called the radio frequency hearing effect. And essentially, the voices or the sounds, the music, whatever they project, would be modulated in your inner ear so people couldn't tell where it was coming from. We have two ears, we have stereophonic hearing, so most people can tell what direction a sound is coming from, but not using the radio frequency hearing effect. So in conjunction with some sort of holographic devices, they were going to use this radio frequency hearing effect to trick the people of Iraq or the people of Cuba. And there's also a plan in the works to use this same technology to stage an alien invasion. in order to trick the world's population into following in line with the government's agenda. While giving a speech at the United Nations in the 1980s, President Ronald Reagan suggested that we needed an alien invasion in order to bring in world peace.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
More recently, Paul Krugman of the New York Times has suggested that the government stage an alien attack or an alien invasion in order to spark military spending in the military-industrial complex to pull us out of the recession and to jumpstart the economy.
If we discovered that space aliens were planning to attack, and we needed a massive buildup to counter the space alien threat, and really inflation and budget deficits took secondary place to that, this slump would be over in 18 months. And then if we discovered, whoops, we made a mistake, there aren't actually any space aliens.
So we need Orson Welles, is what you're saying.
No, there was a Twilight Zone episode like this in which scientists fake an alien threat in order to achieve world peace. Well, this time we don't need it. We need it in order to get some fiscal stimulus. I actually have a serious proposal, which is that we have to get a bunch of scientists to tell us that we're facing a threatened alien invasion. And in order to be prepared for that alien invasion, we have to do things like build high-speed rail, and then once we've recovered, we can say, whoops, there were no aliens. But look, I mean, whatever it takes.
Back in the 1970s, there was a book published titled The Report from Iron Mountain, which was supposedly or said to have been a classified government document about how the military needed to continue an endless war in order to keep the economy functioning. Many people believe that this document was a hoax. The authors came out and said that it was a satire years later after it had spurred all kinds of controversy and become a bestseller. And in that book, it also suggested that the government stage an alien invasion in order to jumpstart spending for the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, and see, they're right there. There's another motivation, and we've seen that before, specifically with Carol Rosin and Warner Van Braun. How, she said like that they were gonna build space-based weapons for Russians, for the nations of interest, for terrorists, for asteroids, and then for aliens. And so that's
none of it was real.
Yeah, and none of it was real. It was all a lie. And so, of course, that goes right along with it. It's a quick little video. Check this out. Again, this is another one of those. I'm like, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be like just advertising or not, or because people are looking it up with their phones. But it's like, because are they filming it because they don't believe their eyes? But check it out. Oh my God, that is so loud. I apologize. See, because like an AR thing couldn't make that whatever was flying go behind the clouds. It couldn't do that. It would be on top of the clouds. It'd be on top of whatever the screen. It would be on that top of that 2D image. So again, is that just 3D added in after the fact? Or were those people really seeing that? Was the screaming and all that added in after the fact? I don't know. Y'all make y'all's own minds. Make up your own minds. So, okay, let's go here. Okay, no, that's That was something else I was watching. That's not what I thought it was. Okay, here, this one. So this is drones, a swarm of drones all working together to make this happen.
Yep.
So imagine if you had 10 times as many drones. Like how solid you could make that look. How real you can make that look.
They did it on an episode of Jersey Shore. They did a fake alien invasion. He paid I forget his name. The DJ, Paulie D, paid a company to come out and use drones to fake an alien invasion. All the girls were going crazy. They really believed it. It was wild.
Yeah.
And it was something like that, but it wasn't a dragon up in the air. It was, a bunch of lights on the drones, and they said it was an alien invasion. So they're putting it out there.
Oh
and,
yeah. Oh yeah. This says it's a 7D hologram projection. So let's watch this and let's talk about it.
Wow.
See how quickly the graphics for video games get better. Have a pretty good perception in a few years.
So I want to pause it here real quick because people could say like, oh, but look at the screen, like the camera's just moving and everybody's watching the screen. Well, one, not everyone is facing. They're facing all at the image that they're looking at. One, two, right here the screen would be okay. Wouldn't it need to look at the screen to be able to see it? That doesn't make sense. But I don't know what this is.
Real?
Huh?
I thought this one was real.
Yeah, it looks pretty dang real. Like but let's keep watching. Let's finish it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, again, I don't know if it's real. It's very interesting. It looks real. People are reacting to it like it's real, but again, you make up your own mind. So let's before we keep going, because we still got a handful more to watch, but before we keep going, let's drop this real quick. What after seeing kind of some of the things that we've had to share, the technologies and stuff, I'd love to hear kind of your thoughts, things that came to mind while you were watching them, anything you'd like to share.
I'm in amazement. Although I guess what I would say is they can do all that stuff. I mean, we're watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they can. And it's not on a flat screen or that. I think it's real, like what you guys said. They can do that stuff. I mean, it's only going to get better. Or they're just showing us, who knows?
Yeah, like they're showing us 20-year-old technology, right?
Knows,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's literally with everything.
It can be a little frightening the way that they can make things look so real.
No, yeah, and then kind of take that same idea from video games, right? We went from Pong to now today where it's like you can see beads of sweat coming out of pores, you know, like you can see like how just a layer of skin was rubbed off of the, so like what they can do, it's going to be the same with this technology. They're just going to keep perfecting it and perfecting it and perfecting it. And they probably already have, right? Like some of these things, it's like, I think that they would test it along the lines of flying an aircraft over a baseball game and leaving smoke, and there was no planes. There was no noise that was produced by jet engines. You know what I mean? It was completely a holograph, and they have no idea. You know, it wouldn't surprise me.
It is going to be a great deception. I mean, it's going to be a great deception. Things are going to be touchable, and they're not real.
Yeah, it's very interesting to think of what could come.
Well, all I got to say is if you see it on the news, you know it's fake.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. We know that it's like they forget that we know about Operation Mockingbird. Like we just forgot about it. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's really crazy what they can do, and like think about how much money is being poured in it. Not like off the books, but because they've kind of put it in this entertainment, area. All this money is like, oh no, we don't want fireworks, we want drone shows, right? And so they get better and better, and it's like, no, we don't want to play games with glasses, we want to be able to see it without glasses, right? And so like we're progressing more and more and more into a state where they could use that technology to very easily fool all your senses. And that is it, that's why we got to be diligent and we got to be paying attention. What was that?
I remember Disneyland at 5 and 6 and 7 years old, and they had the hologram.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it? Abraham Lincoln or something? I can't remember. It's been so many years ago. And talking to us, all the way around. That's when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Hey, Vader. So you play video games, right?
Totally.
Did you ever put the goggles on and play a video game with them? All right, so if video games go to that,
I'll stop playing. Yeah, I'll stop playing.
I don't.
If that was the only option and there was no other way, then yeah. Or I would buy like an old retro PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't. Yeah, no, I'm never going to the AR. I'm never going to the VR. Like that, I have no desire for that.
Do you think there would be pushback if they made it like that's the only game?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think they're gonna make it more and more appealing, right? Over time, they're gonna make it more and more appealing. So there's a shift there. I just don't know if they could ever completely get away from kind of what people expect right now. At least not for a few generations, in my opinion.
Gaming was a nefarious thing.
Oh yeah.
It's just enveloped.
Can you name one entertainment that isn't that? That wasn't developed to program, to trick, to, what I mean?
Television.
Yeah.
Television.
Radio. Baseball. Football.
Yeah.
I find it kind of interesting that it's always been the objective of them to blur the lines between reality and the digital world. And we've seen that actually for like 40, 50 years with NASA, taking images of the Earth for us. And we're looking at CGI. People look at images in a magazine. They're like, oh, yeah, that's the Earth from the place that I've never seen it from before. That's it. That's where I live. And they, they're looking at a picture and they don't realize it's been computer generated. This whole thing's just been a step-by-step process to get us to this point.
So what you're saying, Kyle, is that Fiji's not real because you've never been there, so therefore you can't say it's real. I'm just
that's right. Australia, yeah.
I kid. All right. Well, again, back to what I was saying was, they use this as an entertainment venue because, again, so much money is put into it and so much can be portrayed and kind of taught, educated, programmed through this. So let's pull up. We'll pull up some more and continue on. Oh, here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Amazing.
You can see like a haze, and I'm wondering if that's what they're projecting onto, but I wonder where the projectors actually are.
I don't know, but they go far out too. Great.
That's just wild.
You can see this being safer than fireworks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we know.
So they could do like a fireworks show without actually.
I'd rather watch this than fireworks show.
Yeah, that would be something cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Just like the fact that they can do this and like people can see it from all around. Like,
it's amazing. Oh.
Like, what the heck?
I know.
Like, what is projecting that? Like, how is it going that high? How is it? You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, to have those beams go all straight out that far. Oh my God.
And this is like giving multiple cuts of different angles, like kind of indicating that this isn't just you have to be right in front of it to see it.
I imagine you could see that from really far away, honestly. That probably lights up that whole area.
Again, where are the freaking projectors? Like, they can't just be on the ground, right?
I think they're on the tower, on the ground, all around it. Or maybe there's drones involved. See where the light source looks like it's coming from there?
I don't know.
Both on the ground and on the tower.
And above.
Well, even those beams right there could be projections.
Projections of. Oh, you're right. Just like. It's a fair point.
And like the fact that you can see the lines behind it.
Amazing.
See, like what are those right there out there, man? Doesn't it look like the light source is coming from out in the sky?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely does.
So again, my point is, we're not going to watch this whole thing, but again, my point is, if they can do this, and this is just for entertainment, what else do they have? You know what I mean? It's like, just for entertainment, they've given us, what are those things called? The things with the gosh, I cannot think of the word. The little two wheels and you step on them and you go forward, the little robots. Like, if they're giving us those type of brushless motors for entertainment, what have they used those for? Yeah, hoverboards. There you go. So if they're giving that to us for entertainment, right, what do they actually have? You know, my mind always comes to those thoughts. Okay, let's go. Let's go here.
Oh, that schooner that was in Star Wars, they probably have that.
Oh, did
The
you
one
see
that
what
Luke
Karen?
Skywalker drove?
Did you see
schooner?
what Karen wrote? The Dejad or whatever. It's coming out of this Space Needle right there that you have.
Yep.
That's exactly what Sean says. The Dejad that's supposed to be rebirth or something.
Yeah, they of course have to get there's so much occult in there. Like, it was like overloaded with occult
I didn't even
symbology.
notice that. Yeah, I didn't notice.
Yeah. All right, let's check this out. When I see this, I imagine them walking people in to a place and not letting them know that what they're looking at is this entertainment, right? Like, they perfect it so much from the entertainment dollar that I really do believe that they eventually will use these ideas for nefarious reasons.
Well, wouldn't you think that little kid would be scared? I mean,
I think they are. That's why they sit down.
Yeah, they. Oh my God. I would be in awe.
Yeah.
I would.
No, I'm not saying it's not cool. I'm just saying, like, see, like, how enticing it is. It's enticing because it's cool. And it gives you these emotional feelings. And what I think about that, and this will go contrary to some of Frankie B's beliefs, but that's what I kind of think the cathedrals were, and why they used all that sacred geometry is because I think they were physically affecting people's residence, and therefore it would trick the people believing that they were having a spiritual experience when it was a manipulation through their physical senses. And I think this is very much so that thing. It's calling out, it's trying to get people to have emotional reaction. And I get it, I'm human too. This looks really cool. But
it does release endorphins. Definitely. It'll actually, what they're doing there will actually probably open up centers of your brain, because you're releasing endorphins. You're having a dopamine drop. It kind of like could give you flashbacks to if you were a drug addict to using. You know what I mean?
LSD flashback.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it would give you that sensation. They say that when you do Molly, it's a dopamine drop. So it drops all your dopamine, and that's what gives you your euphoric feeling. And I think that would probably do the same thing through your optical nerves. You know what I mean?
What's Molly?
Yeah, it totally will be. It's a drug. All right, let's keep chugging.
God. Oh my.
Imagine that's the new way of advertising.
Oh my gosh, that was.
You know, instead of having billboards, they have those things in the sky. That would be like a new advertise. You know,
they're literally already doing that. That's what we're watching right now. Yeah, it's insane.
You've seen the Pepsi, the perfume.
Yep, it's all this. Think about the marketing and entertainment dollars here.
Yeah, I don't approve of it on the highway. That would cause an accident.
Yeah.
If you see something like that, I mean, you're going to stare at that.
Totally.
I was freaked that it was going to come out. Wow. Oh my goodness.
And I saw a star fall from the heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit.
Oh my. Well.
Yeah, it's wild.
Project Bluebeam. Can you describe what that is?
Well, that's another subculture term that's been attached to a series of projects that involve what the Pentagon, what they call a deceptive indication and warning, or a false INW, which is a false flag. And it's the ability to stage, through very advanced technologies, an alien attack or an alien event. And it's a whole series of them. Now, what most people don't know about, since late 50s, early 60s, like the Barney Hill case and all that, those were all human assets abducting innocent people made to look alien. And so that psychological warfare was authorized in 1953, 54. 1954, we mastered gravity control. So we started deploying these assets to begin to condition the public that there's a scary threat from outer space. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Hollywood, Alien, Ridley Scott's the movies. If you want to see a script for what's coming fairly soon, look at the movie Independence Day. Okay. It's right at a central casting for this covert group. So what their whole purpose is to create sort of a global militarized totalitarian superstate of the world fighting another world. It's like War of the Worlds.
Well.
You're muted.
Like Star Trek, like Ender's Game, like Independence Day 2. So many movies have this idea of this galactic, this planetary government that all work together to explore the stars. We've heard it before.
Movies.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so preposterous. So we got about.
I'm sitting here watching, and I want to watch a whole hour more of it.
I know it's there's so much. All right, let's check this Alex Jones clip out.
Means whether he's good or bad, that means the globalists are going down. How would you describe the globalists and where we are and what you think is going to happen next? Like with this war with Russia and all of it.
Well, they're just fighting to keep any kind of way to generate revenue from wars. Is really what it comes down to, and all this stuff is controlled and pre-planned, including this whole Russia-Ukraine war, this Israel war in Palestine. This is all about generating a great deal of money, stealing land and stealing resources, just like they did in the ancient tablets. There's nothing changed. These are like the last two wars we can find to fight right now on the planet. Maybe there's one more with Taiwan, I'm not sure. But the next war is going to be in space. They're going to take their little change that they can make from these right now. But the next big war is going to be a space war. They're going to take these UAPs that they've done, reverse engineered alien craft. They're going to do a Gulf of Tonkin incident again, like they did to launch the Vietnamese War. They're going to strike or hit or blow up a Navy vessel or something like that with one of these UAPs, claim it wasn't ours, claim it was an alien, and we have to be fearful of the aliens now because they can attack us. And then they're going to send trillions of dollars into black budget projects that have no congressional oversight. And they're going to take our money, and we're going to willingly give it to them because we're afraid of these aliens.
We can see the pre-programming for projects. We can see the pre-programming for Project Bluebeam.
Say that again?
We can see them hyping Project Bluebeam, alien thing.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They're hyping it all up. They're going to listen. They're going to make a fake alien attack and siphon money into these private corporations where we can't get a FOIA. If we can't get a FOIA, we can't tell what the hell they're doing. And because we can't tell what they're doing, we know what they're doing behind the scenes. These poly tricksters are sitting behind the scenes, and these big CEOs of these corporate companies, they're all taking money behind the scenes and funding projects that most of them will never see the light of day. They may take 10, 15, 20 billion dollars and spread it between them. The rest of it goes into R&D, and a lot of the stuff never even develops. They keep claiming, we need a few more $1 billion to get it going, like they do with these private jets and so forth that they work on for 10 years and they never fly. And they just keep siphoning money from the American public over and over again. And then they go, it's a lost leader. We're going to try something new. But meanwhile, they've taken in billions, sometimes trillions of dollars, and they split it up between them all. That's what's happening with the global elites. They're making money.
No, I agree with you. You're very impressive in your understanding.
You're muted.
What always blows my mind about these types of individuals is how, like, they know the government lies, they know that they're going to fake do an alien invasion, but yet they still believe in the planet, they still believe in the globe. They're holding two contradictory kind of ideas, at least in my opinion, in their head, and it just makes no sense. All right, so we got a few more videos. This one's a little bit longer. I want to read this as kind of more of a news brief type of thing. But we'll watch this and then we'll finish it up with a couple videos before we get to some scripture.
New questions about whether the government is covering up evidence of UFOs.
I had an experience.
A congressional hearing straight out of a science fiction movie.
All to hide the fact that we are not alone in the cosmos.
Lawmakers calling for more transparency around UAPs, or unidentified anomalous phenomena. That's the term the government now uses instead of UFO.
What do you believe UAPs could be or are?
Strong evidence that they are non-human, higher intelligence.
An intelligence officer last year claimed the Pentagon has been hiding knowledge of alien activity for decades.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to.
Luis Elizondo, who headed a Pentagon program investigating UAPs, now doubling down on his claims.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs, yes or no?
Yes.
Were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft, yes or no?
Yes.
Elizondo saying the alleged extraterrestrial presence poses a national security threat.
Let me be clear. UAP are real. Advanced technologies not made by our government or any other government are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe.
And saying he believes many classified materials should be shared with Congress and the public.
If this was an adversarial technology, this would be an intelligence failure eclipsing that of 9/11 by an order of magnitude. I believe that we as Americans can handle the truth. And I also believe the world deserves the truth.
The hearing lacked any direct evidence, with witnesses who have said they'll only speak about certain subjects behind closed doors. So, the result of yesterday's hearing, well, one congresswoman says it could open the door to more hearings. President-elect Trump has said he might be willing to release more video of UAPs.
Was anything described as that we have possession of bodies?
Yes. Yes.
We have is it multiple types of creatures, or?
Sir, I couldn't answer that. I can tell you anecdotally that it was discussed quite a bit when I was at the Pentagon. The problem is the supposed collection of these biological samples occurred before my time. In fact, before I was even born.
And was this part of the Lockheed Martin discussion, or was this the biologics is a completely separate?
Separate yet related.
Okay. Has anyone made contact?
Sir, I'm sorry, could you specify?
Has there been any, to your knowledge, any communication with a non-human life form?
So the term communication is a bit of a trick word because there's verbal communication like we're having now.
Yeah, his neck looks so weird.
And so I would say definitively yes.
This is the nation's
like the way he's looking, he's like, it's just weird.
Congress once again met last week talking about unidentified anomalous phenomenon, talking about UFOs, and talking, even as you heard there, about the recovering of actual bodies of aliens that the government has kept secret, supposedly, for all of these years. And I think a lot of people out there, if you watch the way things are going, it's looking more and more likely that Project Bluebeam is on the horizon during Trump's campaign as president, because Donald Trump is the one who's baiting and teasing the conservative audience into believing that the deep state has been hiding all of these things from the civilians and that he's going to reveal all of these things to everyone. But most
our savior
understand is that aliens are not real. The term alien and what they tell us and have programmed us to believe that aliens exist in outer space. They travel from Mars to Venus, up Uranus. You know, all of the propaganda we've seen from Star Trek to Star Wars is fictional. Because what they're actually doing is covering for demons. Aleister Crowley wrote in his book, today they call them angels and demons, tomorrow they will call them something else. And in fact, they are taking these demons and calling them aliens because they are going to train you and deceive you into accepting aliens over in our physical realm. They're preparing to bring over what's on the other side. A lot of these videos I've done about stargates and portals are preparation for this. And there's a big difference here in understanding an alien deception versus actual spiritual warfare. Because like most of the things they've convinced everybody of, they continue to minimalize God by telling you that there's a universe out there and there's planets out there and you could travel out there. It makes God look small. It makes people believe in science over the actual facts of the Bible. And an alien deception would work perfectly with Donald Trump. They've been preparing us for this for quite some time. a lot of the rapture programming that's gone around where people are date setting, predicting days of raptures. And if you don't know about Project Bluebeam would be a simulation in the sky created by the government, which would make it look like an actual alien deception that's going on. But it could also be mixed in with biblical themes of seeing Fatimas, so to speak, in the sky. Signs from God, wonders in the sky, which the Bible warns about.
Yep.
Fake deceptions in the sky, and the Antichrist being able to perform miracles. But don't forget, again,
we're gonna read
about
that, brother.
the Vatican publishing new norms to discern alleged supernatural phenomena, because that's going to be part of this, that the Vatican is going to be the one who officially says if there's a sign in the sky that it is of God or not. And we could all look at it and say, well, who's actually going to fall for this stuff? But again, look how easy it is for Christians to be deceived into Donald Trump, into Elon Musk. I mean, Elon Musk is literally microchipping human beings.
Yeah.
He is Neuralinking human beings. We are in the middle of the human trials, and all the Christians out there are now aligned with him. And of course, baits them by saying that he actually believes in God all of a sudden when his entire life he has openly denounced God. This is a deception that's going on, but it shows us that Christians can be very easily deceived into this. Now, I want to talk about something else that occurred during this meeting. If you didn't hear it, it is very, very
Let
interesting.
no man be deceived, right? And we're gonna read that. But let's great video. I suggest checking it out. This is at Perry at Rakia. Over on BitChute, Trump's Alien Atlantis. Congress just set the stage for Project Bluebeam. So check that out if you're interested. There's the link if y'all want to
follow. Call for an uprising or something like that. It's changing all the time because it's always getting deleted. So he always has to make a new channel to keep posting content. So it's hard to. I'm always trying to subscribe and then it's gone, and I'm find them later on.
Yep, you find them on accident again somewhere down the road.
Yep.
Totally get it. All right, let's check this out.
How are you today? I want to make one more video this week. And it's going to be about Project Bluebeam. Many years ago, it's been really a long time ago, 8 years, maybe almost 10 years ago, I did a video or several videos about Project Bluebeams. If you have time, go back and look at them. At that time, I focused on this guy.
This Marsha is included in this, but any older lady like this that is into truth, I just think this is so cool. This is someone's grandma that when they come over, not only does she give them sweet treats, some candy, but she also is ladling the gravy, and that is so cool to think about. I hope I'm one of those grandpas ladling gravy when I'm an old man.
I was ladling gravy to some of my grandkids, and they would just roll their eyes at Grandma.
But one day they're gonna be like, "Oh, we should have listened to Grandma."
Yep, that's exactly right.
All right, let's hear a little bit of what she has to say.
Sergei Monast, who wrote a book and about Project Bluebeam and about a conspiracy theory that he picked up from some whistleblower or whatever, that the government is going to stage a false flag with aliens and call it a false rapture or return of Christ. So this Project Bluebeam is absolutely something that, of course, is secret technology that the government has. It's not sometimes so secret. I think there's some things coming out. It's like projecting holographic images, whether it be in the sky or someplace else. I have seen things where they have done that, and it looks pretty real. And I saw a video by Timothy Alberino. I think his name is Alberino.
Yep. So yeah, and what I really want to show from this is like, it's like they just think we're these crazy nuts. You know what I mean? Like we're just these conspiracy theories. But like, here's an example of just a normal human being that has been walking the path of truth and is coming across this. And even though she knows it, she doesn't look like she's afraid. She doesn't look like she's not blackpilling, saying, "Hey, everyone, destruction is nigh." You know, she's just given some info of the things that she's found, and specifically, I think it's this video. We don't got that much time left, so I wanna go through this real quick. But what's this one? Okay, we're gonna skip this one and just watch this. It's only 3 minutes, so let's check this out.
2024, the Vatican will release a detailed document providing guidance on how to discern supernatural phenomena, apparitions, appearances, or communication with divine beings, such as saints, angels, or Christ himself. The last time the Vatican released guidance on apparitions was in 1978 under Pope Paul VI. That document, Norms Regarding the Manner of Proceedings in the Discernment of Presumed Apparitions or Revelations, was released due to the increased influence of mass media. The miracle of Fatima in 1917 is perhaps the most well-documented apparition in the modern day. After an alleged series of appearances by the Virgin Mary to several peasant children that promised a public miracle, tens of thousands of people in Fatima claimed to witness the sun move erratically across the sky and produce radiant colors for several minutes. Project Bluebeam is a conspiracy theory that claims that NASA and other government agencies are attempting to implement a New Age religion with the Antichrist at its head and start a new world order via a technologically simulated second coming. This theory was put forth by a man named Serge Monast, a Canadian journalist who published the theory in 1994. According to Monast, Project Bluebeam would involve several steps. The first step would allegedly involve faking discoveries that would discredit all fundamental religious doctrines. Then three-dimensional optical holograms and sounds would be projected into the sky, simulating figures important to various cultures and religions, which would merge into one after explanations of their individual mistakes. Telepathic electronic means would be used to communicate with each individual on Earth, convincing them that their God is speaking to them directly. The final step would supposedly use electronic means to create the illusion of an alien invasion, or the perception of the rapture and return of Jesus, to manipulate believers into accepting the new religion. Monast claimed that his work exposing Project Bluebeam had made him a target for harassment by government authorities, which he believed was part of a campaign to silence him. According to reports and his own accounts, Monast and another journalist were repeatedly arrested and had their children taken away by authorities, ostensibly due to their involvement in publicizing conspiracy theories, which the government found disruptive or threatening. Monast attributed his legal and personal troubles to his stance against what he believed to be a global conspiracy. He ultimately died of a heart attack in 1996, which some claim was induced or somehow facilitated by government agents as a way to permanently silence him.
There's no such thing as a heart attack gun, is there? I'm pretty sure I've never heard of anything like that.
Hey,
did that sound garbled?
Can I say something? So 2 weeks ago, I was coming home from work, and the moon literally was so low. We have it's called Liberty Tower 1 and Liberty Tower 2 in Philadelphia, and I was driving down 95, and the moon was literally between the two towers. I've never seen it. It was huge. It was like maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles away from me. Now that we're doing this, do you think that could have been a hologram, or did you see a low moon like 2 weeks ago?
I don't recall seeing what you described. That would be very interesting, and who knows?
It was, dude, it was huge, and it was really low. I've never seen it that low before. Now I'm starting to think maybe it was a test run of a hologram.
Yeah, I don't, and when it says, in scripture that the light, the moon won't give her light, maybe that has something to do with it. But to close it up, I want to read here 2 Thessalonians, because I think this really encapsulates all that we really are trying to say. And it's better than us saying it. Let's just read from scripture. So it says, "Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye not be so shaken in mind or troubled, neither by spirit nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as the day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was with you I told you these things? And now you know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the work of Satan, with all the power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they shall believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. But we are bound to give thanks always to God for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because God hath from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and the belief of the truth, whereunto he called you by our gospel to obtain of the glory of our Lord Jesus Christ. Therefore, brethren, stand fast and hold traditions that ye have been taught, whether by word or our epistle. Now our Lord Jesus Christ himself, and God, even our Father, which has loved us, has given us the everlasting consolation and good hope through grace. Comfort your hearts, and establish you in every good word and work." So, even through all the stuff that they're having, guys, those who seek the truth are going to be, he's going to be here, but we got to let nothing deceive us. We got to have our eyes open, and we got to be watchers on the wall. We can't fall asleep. We can't be drunk. We got to wait up for the thief, and we know the thief is coming. So, yeah, let's go ahead and close this, and let's say our goodbyes and call it a stream. We'll jump over to you, Marcia. The final thoughts and your goodbye, sister.
Project Bluebeam, I thought was old hat. Oh no, it's still here, getting better and better and better. I really did. I thought they were going to use something else. So this is a big eye opener to me that Project Bluebeam is still viable today and going to be used.
It's still on. Yep, it's still on. Yeah. Well, as always, sister, it's a pleasure to have you here, and I hope you have a good night and a good rest of the weekend. Let's jump over to Kyle. Final thoughts and goodbyes, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, bro. I think that the last few videos, really the whole episode, kind of nailed in the point that this is really to push an agenda having to do with the return of our Savior and the Antichrist and this alien narrative. It's all one story, one agenda, all kind of bundled up into a lie that can be demonstrated through this technology. They can basically show all these images and symbols and everything that they want through it, but that's what they choose to do. So I think we just need to be prepared that they're just kind of it's they're just showing us what is to come, is my opinion. That they're kind of just telling us now what to expect in the future. That there's a reason that they choose these symbols and these figures, and one day it's going to play a huge part in our lives, where a lot of people are going to be, their hearts may fail them for fear, and they may, go astray into go take the mark of the beast. Or I don't know exactly how it plays out, but whatever happens, I can say it's, don't fear it, because chances are it's not even real. But even if it is real, it's, don't fear that who can destroy
Fear
your body,
God.
not your soul. Yeah, exactly.
Fear God, who can kill the body.
And what I think is interesting specifically about this topic and it being as a conspiracy is, I've kind of mentioned it multiple times, I've mentioned it multiple times, is that this is used for marketing and entertainment. So they can do it right in front of our faces. They can perfect this, craft this technology right in front of our faces, because that's the point. They got to make sure we can see it and emotionally react to it. And so, yeah, they've set the foundation for these for this technology to be used. It isn't just something that used to happen. No, that they're still working on these things and have a desire to fulfill this idea of theirs. So, well, as always, brother, great to have you on and to talk to you. And yeah, dude, I'm excited for you to live here and right down the road. So, yeah, absolutely. All right, let's jump over. Last but not least, we got our brother Frankie B. What are your final thoughts about the Blue Beam Project and your goodbyes?
Yeah, it's crazy, the stuff that they can do. I mean, now that I'm thinking about that moon, I'd never seen the moon so low. I mean, it was literally almost looked like it was touching the bridge, because I'm driving towards a bridge. And it was literally right over top of the bridge. And it was huge, and I'd never seen nothing like that. And, I'd being a flat earther, I thought, wow, the moon's awful close in the realm tonight.
Yeah.
But, now that I'm looking at this, it could have been a test run, a blue beam, a hologram, something, I seriously think the moon was really low. I think it was like a harvest moon or whatever they call that. But, yeah, this is... well, it gives preterism a lot of validation, because all the futurism stuff's they're gonna play it all out, bro. They're playing it out. So that's my thoughts on that. But yeah, I mean, they're only showing us a little bit of the technology. They have so much more. I mean, and it's so advanced. And I really think it's going to probably be something like Independence Day. Like
I got to rewatch that.
How there was ships, or the war that when they redid the War of the Worlds, how the ships were over, certain areas. I think they're going to do something like that, and then also release some hybrid creatures, and then say that they're aliens, that they escaped from a lab, strike fear in people. They could probably enforce lockdowns. They could do all kinds of crazy stuff with that. If say a creature gets out in a city, they have to lock the whole city down until they find that alien creature. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree. And I was kind of saying that earlier, is like, what if they release these chimeras, Project Blue Beam, some alien crafts, and now you have all this stuff going on, and like, oh, people actually got hurt. This creature was actually real. They shot it.
Yeah, these creatures could actually be blood-sucking creatures too. You don't even know, and if they do release a bunch of them, they could go on a killing spree.
Yeah, who knows?
That would be terror in the cities, and they're going to do it in the big cities. We live in the rural areas, so I think we would be okay. But in the big inner cities like New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, they'll be on lockdown. I mean, it'll be crazy if they did something like that.
Yeah, it would be, and it wouldn't just be America like it is in the movies. It would be all around the world. You know what I mean? That would cause a lot of
big cities in every world, and they just in our area. I don't know if it was in our area. I've seen it on the news. 40 monkeys escaped from a lab, and they hunt. There's 4 of them still loose. That's something out of 28 days. When that virus came out of that lab from the monkeys,
yeah,
they had 40. So the guy didn't lock the gate, and 40 monkeys escaped.
Sounds like it was intentional.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought.
Yeah.
But so put your seatbelt on, because it's going to be a bumpy ride, man. Probably the next 4 years, especially now that they got their boy in the office, they're going to do whatever they want. You know what I mean?
Yep. Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be eventful.
But we have the power of Yah, the protection of God on our side.
Amen.
So, and He takes care of His own. So.
Amen. All right, brother. Well, a pleasure like always, and hope y'all are excited for next week. We're going to be talking about satellites, and that's even that word satellites. It's kind of like they have elites in there as well. It's but I'm excited to talk about it because I think that like a lot of that information is important for if it's not your first time learning about it, getting a refresher is always a good reason, is always a good thing. So hopefully y'all are excited about it. This one was fun. Time flew. Again, if you'd like to support the channel, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and either the merch or donations to help it out fiscally. But other than that, guys, I hope y'all have a good rest of your weekend, a good Thanksgiving coming up. But until next time, guys, remember that Abba loved you first. Shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Shalom.
I'll be back.
Later.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
It's your glory. Conceal the mystery.
Don't forget about the after show on Discord if you are interested in having a conversation. Link in the description.
You raise up a standard.